All set? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Pownell Special Select Board meeting on Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, 6 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Board member roll call.
Angie Rowling.
Carl Strohmeyer.
Mike Gardner.
Jamie Person.
We all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Approval of the agenda, public comment, select board vacancy discussion and appointment of new select board member. Fiscal year 25 town clerk budget over expenditures, assistant town clerk and election line discussion, public comment, executive for personnel and adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any changes to the agenda? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any public comment here? No hands? Okay, select board vacancy discussion and appointment of new board member.
So as you all know, Brian Harris was our only letter of interest. Fred Miller had submitted one, but he withdrew it when he realized that Brian had submitted one. So we only had one letter of interest, and it was Brian, and he is here tonight.
Welcome, Brian.
I'll entertain a motion to, unless there's somebody that wants to do something different.
I'll make the motion to
Brian Harris.
accept Brian Harris's
Letter.
letter of intent and welcome, and for selectmen.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? And I believe Brian's gonna be able to get in and get sworn in tomorrow so that he can participate, which was our goal in tomorrow night's meetings and future budget meetings. Yeah, not just budget, meetings in general, but budget are the most important ones right now.
It's that time of the year.
I mean, I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Welcome aboard again, Brian.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Fiscal year 25 town clerk budget over expenditures. Our town clerk is trying to join us via Zoom.
I think she's in.
You in, Julie?
I think so, but I have to touch a button or something. Yes,
Oh, we can hear you.
We can hear you now. You're in.
sorry.
You're fine.
But I can't see anything. I just have a thing in the middle of the screen that says the meeting's being recorded.
Yep.
Do I hit okay?
Yep, hit okay. And then
I
it'll
was
go.
I was texting Hannah. Okay, now I see you. Thank you. Sorry.
You're fine.
No worries.
I don't do technology though.
All right, Julie, you're up.
Oh, right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, hold on. Let me get my papers. Hold on. So I've asked to come on the agenda because I'm over budget on my assistant town clerk wage. So, because I don't do budgeting very well, I don't begin to read the budgets very well. So I'm asking if I can do budget adjustment. Because, like I said, I'm learning all this stuff. So I have to, because I had budget originally like 5,000 for, the assistant clerk line, and I didn't realize that it was cut until like July when we were talking about doing a special election, and then it was pointed out to me by Tara that it had been cut. So, and I apologize because, like I said, I never ever had to pay attention to the budget stuff like this before, so that was my fault. But I'm learning going forward. So, being that anyway, I wanted to know if we could move, because we don't do budget items line by line, I guess, when we approve. So I was gonna ask if that, because on my, like, I don't know if you guys have a paper in front of you.
We do.
We do.
Okay, so like in the town clerk, we go like my salary, assistant clerk wage, clerk training. And then I have the clerk expense training. So my suggestion, or I was gonna ask, because I have allotted for the budget of 2025 was, I said like 2,500. And I currently use like 1,125. I wanted to know if we could move like $600. I think like $600 and leave $500 in that expense training line. Because I don't plan on doing any more trainings yet for the rest of until our next fiscal part. So, and then that way, let me see. Hold on.
So we're talking the budget amount, 2,500, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Cause, so that's my understanding that I have a budget and that. Cause I've never done a budget adjustment, so is my understanding, and if asking correctly, can we move money around in my budget as long as we're still in that threshold of not going over my budget?
So you have a budget of $2,500 for clerk expenses and training.
Yes.
And right now you have, expended $1,207.10 is that as of today, Tara?
Mhm.
Okay, I assume that, but I just wanted to make sure. So which leaves you, just under $1,300 in that, line item.
Yeah.
So you're asking to move out of that $1,300, you're asking to move
Like,
$600,
yes,
right?
because,
Well, but let me just ask a question, okay?
yep,
And because our assistant clerk is over by 400, all right?
now,
So that 600, and these are round numbers, right? I'm not gonna get into, $604 or $207, right? We're using round numbers, right?
yes, because that's
So,
easier for me.
Right, so we're $400 over budget on the assistant clerk as of today. You're asking to move 600, which is only gonna leave you, it's gonna balance out, it's gonna leave you a couple $100, a little under, it's like $191 and change. Is that enough, or should we move a little more money if we're gonna move it and do it one time and be done with it?
Right.
That's my question. Right? I see what you're asking for, Julie. I totally understand the budget adjustment and I don't have a problem with it. My concern is, and it's not a big deal to come back and do it again either. Should we just do it one time and be done, or move 600, leaves us a couple $100 cushion and then we're okay.
Well, see, I didn't know how any of that stuff. I mean, I always hear the girls talking about the budget adjustment, but
Right,
I don't know.
right.
I don't know how any of that stuff works.
So are you comfortable with just 600, or should we move 800, and which is gonna leave about 500, and then it gives you a $400 cushion on that budget because it's gonna take that 400 that's already over. That's just my question.
No, I'm okay with that. But like, because I have another question after that's gonna go into something like another part.
Sure, but that, let's do one at a time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because
So
it's easier for me to comprehend that way.
what's the board's pleasure? Does everybody follow what I'm,
Yep.
my line of thinking on that, right? Oh, I figured that.
I mean, is there usually any trainings in the spring that you attend before the next fiscal year?
No,
Well, and the flip side of it is, Jamie, I mean, and we don't want to eliminate anybody from doing a training or limit them from doing it. But when we're over budget or right on the edge, then it might have to wait till next year.
True.
Right. You know, we might have to wait till the next fiscal
No,
year. You know, things happen, right?
Yeah.
Things happen, we do whatever. It's not a big.
You don't have any mandatory trainings to do between now and the end of fiscal year?
No.
Notary.
Okay.
Question. Good question.
Notary.
Yes, that's
Is that gonna
Oh.
cost?
my
Well-
mouth.
Yeah, but my notary, I've already done the class. I just gotta finish my test and just submit my test.
Okay.
Cause
Oh.
we already paid the $50 fee for that.
Yeah.
So then,
I prefer Mike's suggestion of take 8 and leave 4, I guess was
Well, it's gonna leave almost 5.
almost 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it'll leave $400 contingency. They'll take care of that 400 that's over budget now.
Yep,
The 800 takes care of 4, leaves 4 and leaves 5 left,
Right.
yes.
basically.
Leaves more room.
It's a little wiggle room, not a lot. $500 ain't a lot of wiggle room, but there's a little there. Well, it's actually technically 900, but.
Mhm.
What's your pleasure?
So is $400 gonna be enough for the rest of the fiscal year for the assistant clerk?
That's a question for Julie.
Julie?
well,
Julie?
so that was so right now, so that was where I wanted to go on a thing because like and I was trying to do one thing at a time, but so my next thing I wanted so the reason, like I said, we're over budget but all of my work is in the system and everything. So all my work, I have no, because with all the elections and stuff, we have all that computer login, like, how I had before. I don't have any of that. So all of my work as of today is all in the COT system. So we are all, you know what I mean? I'm all caught up on stuff like that. So I think yes, but so then my next thing is I want her to still work with me, but under a different line type thing. So that I was going to move it to next thing. And then when we got to the election stuff, I wanted to move money in the election wages to make it so we're not over on the election wages. So, but yes, for now, that would be enough for assistant part.
All right, then I'm okay with taking the $800 and moving it, if that is suffice.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Gotcha.
Wait, can we be a little more specific in your motion, please?
I'm sorry, we're taking $800
From the,
from the expenditure training clerk line and moving it to the assistant clerk wage training.
Thank you.
That's my motion.
second that line,
And motion is made and seconded.
100-3200-20.00.
Thank you.
I have a motion to, so that we're clear, to move $800 of $1,292.90 from the clerk expense training line item 100-3200-20.00 into the assistant clerk wage line for a budget adjustment, line item 100-3200-15.00. And I have a second on that. Is that correct?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Truly.
So Julie, on your second part of this, we're gonna have to be really diligent on the assistant clerk line item, what's left there. We can add to that number, but it won't take effect until July 1. Before it would take effect. If we increase that budget line item from which it was $3,000 budgeted for that, if whatever we increase it to, right? Whatever you ask for, and when we decide to do to 5,000 or 4,000 or whatever it is, that wouldn't take effect until July 1
Oh,
of
for the new one.
2025.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
figured we weren't I didn't want to do our new budget. I didn't know if we were doing our new budget stuff because my daughter.
Not
I
tonight.
figured, no, I figured that's
Right.
separate. I just wanted to cover for right now, like, because I had gotten an email and like I said, I don't know where money comes from. I've
Right.
never had to know where it came from in my 22 years working. I
Right.
just always turned in
So,
my slips and go from there.
so I think at this point in time, there's a couple of things that, need to happen. Right? You need to, communicate with, if you have your assistant clerk in here working, you need to communicate with Ellen or Tara or whoever on where you're at for wages. So that we don't get in this predicament again until July 1st.
No, I already asked Ellen about doing monthly.
Right, and I think honestly, I think the select board, do you want to talk on that, Carl?
If there's, yeah, well, I've always, is there a way that we can track? And not just everybody. I'd like to see a report maybe once a month. I don't know if it's possible, but just so that we know where everybody stands on their budget. So we don't get blindsided by all of a sudden it is oh my God, somebody's going over budget. Well, didn't know that because frankly, we were just worried about taking care of the fires that were in front of us.
Yeah.
And that would be something that would be a report that would come maybe from Ellen to the select board.
You can, they can request the expenditure report and it gives an update throughout, anytime you print it, it has an update.
Okay.
And so I think there's a little responsibility to get a fall back to the select board on this whole thing so that we don't get into this situation again with any department, not, anybody, not just the treasurer or the town clerk or anybody, the assessor, whoever could get into the same situation at some point something happens. So I think that's gonna become our job to figure out, like Hannah said, with some kind of an expenditure report every 2 months or
2 months or whatever, just so that we,
every
and
quarter, or whatever.
I would do
Yep.
quarterly.
I'm willing to do that, if every quarter you guys wanted it, I could just.
okay, that'd be perfect.
See where-
I think it'd be great. And then I think it would eliminate or potentially, not foolproof, right? But it would at least give us a heads up. It would also give, like you wouldn't get into this situation again, Julie, where, because you would know, we could come to you and say, hey, look at this is where you're at. You're getting down there, right? Or somebody could and say, we got to watch what's going on. That's all.
Yep.
So that we're not in the same boat.
Yep.
That's all we're trying to do.
Oh, no, that makes sense. Because like I said, I have no numbers and
Right.
and even trying to figure out our new budget, I had issues with the fiscal year. So
Yeah, and that's fine. Fiscal year can be a little tricky. That's why I
dude,
wanted
I
somebody
wouldn't want to
to,
work 3 years in one.
yeah, that's why I wanted somebody to come into the board and knows what fiscal year is. That's my goal. Fiscal year can be tough.
Okay, so let me find my notes for my,
All right,
give me 1 second.
perfect.
All right, let me find my
Did we
notes for
vote?
election.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't
Well,
know.
just-
Did
just-
you- I don't know if you did.
I don't know if we did we vote
For what?
To move the money.
to move the money?
Yes,
We did.
Oh, sorry.
yeah, the first motion's done for the
Okay.
Sorry.
adjustment.
We did
I'm just-
get off track a few times there.
Maybe I should run
Sorry.
for president.
Are you done, Joel?
Nope, so then
can't.
now I'm moving to, so because I'm not over budget technically yet on the election. So, but I'm close. So my election line, I had 6,000 for wages. And I've already spent 59.19. So I'm requesting or asking to move from my election supplies expense line where I have 4,500 and I've only spent $596.
Yep.
And because I figured rate for my August or my March election, I figured I need at least 8 workers. So, and like I said, I am horrible at math, but I figured I was trying to do 8 workers at 12 hours because we normally work 12, 13-hour days. And by then, minimum wage is like $14.01 come January. So I'm figuring, like I said, I suck at math, so bear with me. That I'm gonna need like $170 for my 8 people. So I figured I need at least 1,500 for wages for the March election. So I wanted to know if I could move money from my election supply expense line where I have a not substantial amount, but quite a bit left over still to move from there. And that being that I still have like probably $2,000 left of my grant to get election supplies with. So I was asking if I could, like I said, move that money line up so that at least we won't go over on election wages for the March election because like I said, when I budget, I tried to do like in case of a special election, but because my brain works differently. And I guess I don't have to do that now, so to speak. So,
So you want to take 1,500 from the 3903 and move it up to election wages, which has $80.85 in it, correct?
I told you I suck at math. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
so you're looking for 8 workers, right? At
I
your,
need at least 8 workers for the March election.
all right,
It's my
so,
minimum crew.
right, so, and you said $170 for the day per worker. So I figured 175, whatever, times 8 is $1,400.
Okay.
So that's gonna give you, if we move 1,500, it gives you the bare minimum to get it done.
Yes. But,
Okay.
and like I said, I mean, if you wanted to move, just, it's totally up to you guys. Like I said, the money, I just wanted to make sure that we have it because I still have my grant money also that I have to use by the end of December.
What do you need? And I know this is probably a difficult question to answer, and be extremely accurate, but try to give me a ballpark. Your election supplies and expenses for the March election, historically, Julie, how much money do you need to make that happen?
Right now, I'm gonna just spend my grant money on whatever I can for the election.
How much is your grant?
My grant was 5,000. And I've already bought, and my goal is, we were trying to buy the sign for out by the firehouse. So I've been working with Tara and we got the okay from the firemen to do a new sign type thing. So we were working on that. And I've already spent almost 2,000 on my grant. So I don't have I don't have my folder with me, so I don't have,
That's fine, Julie, just ballpark it for me, or for us.
I don't know, because I
I
never.
won't hold you to it.
So right around
Oh, no, I
3,000
You have
never,
about 3,000 left in your grant?
remaining,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
and but like I said, I've never done shopping, so.
I would feel
I mean,
a
I
little
don't want
more,
to.
I'd feel a little more comfortable. I'd feel a little more comfortable moving more than $1,500.
How about 2,000?
I like that number better only because, who knows if
Then we have to
who
go
knows,
back.
we just went through a recount, right? We just went through if there's,
A
if there's
rebook.
some, if there's some things that pop up after the fact or whatever, I don't want to have to do it again. That's all.
Yep.
And that's the only thing, Joel. I'm not,
No,
I'm giving you more than you asked for. Don't fight with me. I'm kidding.
no, I'm not, no. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm just like,
I'll entertain a motion to move $2,000 from the election supply and expense line item 100-3310 20.00 into the election wage line item of 100-3310 10.00.
So moved.
So, second.
That, Julie?
I have a motion and I have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Is that it for you, Jules?
Nope, then I have one more
Hey,
request.
whoa, you only get two.
Well, that was all I was thinking, but seeing how we're on the money thing. So I have, obviously, we have the scanner now. And my goal is to put all of our maps. I want to scan all of our maps to put on the computer, not the COT. I don't want to put it on the COT system, but I'd like to have all of our maps scanned and put onto either the community computer or like how we can go onto our website and we can look up the grand list and the lister cards and like to have our maps put there.
Have a
So,
link to it.
or yeah, or however it goes on. But so my thing was, so I would like Bridget to work on my,
I'll let you get back to practice and I'll see you Friday night. Thank you, Roger.
Jim is on there. Can you like delete him or not? Mute him.
Did we lose Julie?
He's muted?
But it said,
Did we lose Julie?
I don't know.
yeah,
That's still here. They're still there.
I was gonna say, well, I don't know. So I wanted to see like have Bridget do like my maps from like my box of maps, my big book maps. And cause I know there was some discussion of having like Wendy do the Mylars, which she sends to the map people. I don't know that word, but the
Cartographer. I got it.
so I am like, so, I know Wendy, can learn to help do the Mylars, but I want to put all of our maps and then like get the 6 division maps and those maps onto the computer and have her tableize them. And then because I have my restoration fund that it can be used for digitalizing. And I know that there's like over 20,000, but I don't want it depleted. So I would ask like maybe if she could work and like 2 or 14 to 20 hours a week, but not like you know what I mean? Not every week. So it's not a full-time, I don't want it like a full-time job, but so that she can work on maps and I can still do all my other work and stuff too.
Julie, what computer would she use if you're on yours? I didn't think of that earlier to ask you, I'm sorry.
Well, to see I don't know. So we can, if we have the other computer, the one that's in the public computer I have, but see, I don't know, wait, do you need a computer to bring to the scanner to download or does you put it on that stick
works
thing and then
just
you
like-
put it to the computer?
Just like the copier, it scans to your computer. You can scan it onto a disk drive, but it's set up so it scans right to your computer at this time. I mean, we could set it up so it scans to the public computer too.
could you use one of ours? And then down.
Those aren't set up. We had IT and
Oh, great.
Selectboard work together to put it on our computers.
Well, I think if we couldn't get it to the public computer, I can always do some of my work from the public computer type thing, you know what I mean? But I didn't even think about that until you just said that. I just assume you put the stick in the computer and ta-da, it goes from there and then you transfer it out.
Are you thinking 14 extra hours a month? Or 14 hours will be enough to scan all the maps?
Oh, God, no, like weekly. Because
Until the maps are scanned.
For how many weeks, Julie?
I don't know. I'd have to look at to see. Like I said, I have the map box. I have my big book. I have a small book. And then I want to do all the maps that we have downstairs. And
Yep.
what are we looking at for a time frame? And, you know,
No, I've never set a time frame, so that's why
right,
I'm
no, that's
asking.
what,
Well,
that's what I kind of
Well,
need.
no, that's why I'm asking you guys. I mean, I don't know. Because
I
like,
I don't know how long it takes to do digitization into the map, you know, into the computer on each map.
The fund is, the fund, Julie, is that to digitize your records, your land records too, dating back further than the ones that COT has gotten to?
Cat's never done any of my Mylars.
No, I know, but I
Oh.
mean, the records that are in the books. Like, some of them aren't in COT.
right.
And I thought restoration fund was to
Get in there.
Preserve and
make it so
digital.
most of them as many as possible.
Right, into the car, right?
But I don't know if it applies. I don't know how it was set
I
up.
think that's the first thing we need to know, right? We need to know the verbiage of that grant
Yeah.
Not the grant, it's a fund.
or the
I don't know when
fund. I thought it was a grant.
established, the restoration fund that was before I came on.
I thought it was a grant that established that restoration fund. I thought.
No. The restoration fund has been there for years. It's the fund that has to go forward. $4 every document that I do, every recording I do, $4 goes into that fund. And it's for restoration of my digitalization.
So
and
I think we need to make sure,
It's not a grant or anything.
I understand that. But I also want to know, I want to have an idea. I don't want to just say, okay, there's $39,000 and I don't have a clue what's in it off the top of my head.
Right.
There's $39,000 in this restoration fund and we're going to spend that restoration fund putting these maps in. I don't want to give a free wheel, just go ahead and spend all that money.
Yeah,
Oh, God, no.
I understand. So that's why we need a little more information. I'm going to need a little more information before I would vote on it to know what we're looking at least a ballpark idea. At least a ballpark.
because you're asking for this in addition to her normal duties, right? Or is this what she'll be working on?
No, this is all she would be working on for right now until the next fiscal year when I have a budget to go from again.
That's,
But I mean, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be a 6 month, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be 6 months, you know what I mean? I can just,
No, I understand that. I'm going to need a little more before I agree to expend some money. I'm going to need a little more information. What it's going to
okay, so
entail.
all right, so can I ask a question then?
Sure.
When Rebecca and then put Priscilla on to do digital in for my records to be all caught up into my system, how did you guys do that? Because I wasn't privy to any of that. But on the note, but where Priscilla was given an X amount of money, I don't believe that amount of money should be worth, and I would not let somebody do that for the fee that she did. My thing is that she would get the fee she gets as an assistant clerk wage doing the digital is in versus the $20 an hour.
So what's her assistant clerk wage? Because I don't know it off the top of my head.
My assistants get $15.60 an hour.
okay.
But I mean, like I said, I don't know how long.
Give that to me.
That Mike,
Right now, if she gets $15.60 an hour, 14 hours a week, gives her $218.40 a week.
Mhm.
That's simple math, right?
Yep,
And if we did it for 8 weeks is pretty much what you're at, Carl. So
Yeah, yeah.
47. Yeah. Yeah.
I can look into the fund details, the guidelines, how it was set up and how it was meant to be spent.
Right. I think that's
Back tomorrow because it's a regular meeting.
Uh-huh.
I had it.
we can add it to the agenda. I think that's what we should do, Joel. Let Tara look up how that fund is meant to be spent for sure, so that we don't do something in error. And then we can go from there. Right now, I think we're probably looking at, I don't have a problem with that, Carl. We're looking at taking about $1,800, gives her 14 hours a week, for 8 weeks to do to see where, and then see where she's at.
And then see where we're at, reevaluate.
Right, and reevaluate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'll look for my paperwork on the digitalization or the restoration too.
Right.
We
Tara
can use it for,
And we can add that to our agenda tomorrow night because it is a regular meeting tomorrow night.
and I'll give it to Tara tomorrow also, and she can
Perfect.
do her
Excellent.
research too.
Thank you. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Are you done now?
Yes.
All right, that's it. You can't retract that.
Well, I
Um,
could, but no, thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Julie.
Thank
Have a
you,
good night,
Julie.
Jules.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
How do I close out of this thing? Hmm.
And I'll help you.
Yeah, you want to mute her.
There. Oh, boy. Gotta love her.
Apology.
Public comment. Any public comment, Hannah?
No hands are up.
No hands are up. Moving right along, Angie.
That
You know
might
you
be
gotta go to
what
work
they
in the
set
morning?
up to redo the books.
I'll entertain a motion to enter into an executive session for personnel.
So move. Second.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to exit executive session for personnel.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
See you tomorrow.